Hello, guys. Welcome back to Inside the Studio, the official podcast of Alamo City Studios. I'm your host, Corina Laila, and I'm here with Claudia Ramon, the owner of Condra Artista Model and Talent Agency. Hello, Miss Boss Lady. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. This is a lot of fun.
How do you like the studio space so
You know,
far?
I love the studio space. I'm so happy to see this transformation here at Alamo City Studios, and it's very exciting. I can't wait to see everything else and all other people coming
It's
in.
been a journey.
Yeah,
It's come a long way.
and it's just starting. That's the cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
So I want to get a little into it, pick through
Mm-hmm.
your mind, pick through
Mm-hmm.
your brain. So let's start from the beginning, like the
Mm-hmm.
background.
Mm-hmm.
How did you even get into the industry? Did you first start into the talent
Mm-hmm.
side or?
Yeah, I loved just being active, and I did a lot of stuff. But in high school, that's the time I'm old enough where they have the Johnny Be Good and all those movies kind of running through. So honestly, I do not remember how I even found out about like the
The
not the
agencies?
casting calls. No, I just wanted to be extra. That was my,
Okay.
so I really cannot remember at all how I found out, but I would end up on sets. I remember being out kind of by Trinity University, and I don't even know if I told my mom because it was a late night shoot. You know, they had the
Mm-hmm.
big lights, and it was really fun. And I was just hanging out, waiting for them to say, "Okay, extras on set." So that was one memory that I had. This is all in high school, and
Mm-hmm.
then there was another one. Again, no recollection how I got information, but it was for a scene downtown San Antonio. It was kind of a little shady, I thought, but I was there anyway because I was like, woo, it was a dance scene. And I don't even know the name of the movie, but I know someone saw me on it and they told me, but I don't remember and I don't want to remember
And
because
this
I'm
is back in high
so
school?
embarrassed. Yeah, back in high school. That was just for fun. Then in my 20s, I went through, it was kind of like a Casablanca training where we did hair, makeup, walking, modeling. And they did give me a few little gigs, nothing that paid a lot or crazy, but I did it because I enjoyed it. That was my creative side. And you haven't heard these stories, have you?
No, that's why I'm so invested. I'm like, what? What else happened?
I have lots of stories. So that was it was one of those classes, that I think they're still ongoing. But I do think even I didn't have any other information about it. This is all I had. So, and I didn't have a lot of money, but I did it. I think I probably saved some money and did it for myself, just because I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
They did headshots. It's not now looking back. I don't think it was the type of headshot that I would recommend people to do.
Mm-hmm.
I also felt that was a little shady, but I did end up getting some good headshots, and I do still have one. I'll have to show it to you. Actually, I have a bunch of them from that period of time. I'll have to bring it in. But so that was like the backside of it. I went to different agencies at that time. I went to Condra Artista at that time, and this was, yeah, it had to have been probably like 88, 89 time frame. So Condra has been around since 1984, and Priscilla Condra was the original owner agent of the business. And I believe it was Mary, but I'm not sure. I remember there was a lady there, and I think I just showed up.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have like an appointment. But I remember back in the day, we had our phone book, so I had everything written down, yellow pages probably. And I went to different agencies and I showed up, and she point blank said, "Do you speak Spanish?" I said, "No, I do not." She said, "I'm sorry, we can't help you here," or something. She kind of,
Yeah.
uh, shooed me away. So I was very disappointed, but that's okay. So I kept doing stuff like that, and it was fun. I also danced. I really enjoyed that. So I just kind of like to be on that end of it. But also at the same time, I was going to school.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of this was done maybe in the summer. Well, high school kind of whenever. And then in the summer, I kind of continued that pattern. And then I had to kind of really focus, and finally finished my degree. And then I went into my, making money job that I had to do. So I kind of let that go to the side. But then when I had Madeline, my daughter Madeline, she was about maybe 12 or 13. And kind of on her own, she went, I don't want to say behind my back, but she did some research on her own. And she was able to find a talent agency. And I guess she reached out. And of course, they said, your parent has to be there, of course, like any reputable agency would. Your parent has to be involved, a guardian. And she's like, I have an appointment. I want you to come with me, and we need to get headshots. And I was like, okay. So we went to get some preliminary pictures that, of course, did not work. Always check with your agent before you get headshots. And, but I kind of let her, I kind of let her take that on responsibility herself. Like, if she really wanted to do that, for her, I think that was a good thing. But anyway, we ended up with an agency here in San Antonio. And so we did that a few years. I did it primarily for the kids. You're supporting your kids like a lot of our parents do, which is wonderful. And we went on the drives to Austin. We did the whole 3-4 hours, that you're going up there. And you're going up there and you walk in, and I remember we had an audition for, I think it was my son, and there was tons of kids there. Like, it was so busy, and they were just sitting around with a lot of energy, kind of antsy energy, and the parents were like, oh my goodness. And then they took groups in to do like the auditions. And when I was there thinking, gosh, we're not gonna get anything, but we still made it a day. So that was kind of a part of the journey on the parent side that I hadn't experienced before. But I still liked it. It was still fun for me. Because I thought that was just time to spend with your kids. And I think I'm kind of going back and forth, like with our agency now and with all our families that we have. That's the feedback that I get. I enjoy spending time with my kids, and we're doing it for fun. We're doing it to support kind of the same theme. So I'm taking a long time to answer your question.
You're fine.
But at that time, there were some factors going on. I had some really bad health-related issues, and I was working in my primary job. And I couldn't work in my primary job because of my health issues. And it got really bad, and I thought, gosh, I need to look into finding something that I can do that I would enjoy, that maybe I could do it remotely if I were sick, That was kind of stuck in my head already because I wasn't working. You don't show up, you don't get paid.
Right.
I was getting very just stressed and anxious about all that, in addition to being sick, which was not a fun thing at all. So
along with being a mom.
Yeah, just all the stuff happening at once, life happening at once. So it took a while. I was sick about 2 to 3 years, so it was a long journey. But when I started feeling better, it's kind of an all or none thing for me. If I'm sick, I'm sick. I can't do anything. And then I felt better. I'm like, oh, I feel better. What am I going to do? I started like what am I going to do? I need to do something. And on Easter, I remember my dad was over at my house, and he was like, we have to do a business, or we have to do, my dad's always like, he's been involved in a lot of like, he had his own,
he's an artist.
He's an artist, but he did start a tree trimming business, and he handled all ends of that from beginning to end. My mom had her own business, still does, but she started it like to support me and like get some things I needed, like braces. So I appreciate her for doing that for me. And then my dad had he started another business when I was younger. So I've always kind of been into this, I've been hearing this running theme with him since I was little. And there are things that he has done, started and kind of completed since I was little. So this was Easter, and he said, there's a shop in the neighborhood that they lived in by Jefferson. Let's go look at it. They're selling it. Maybe we can do something there. So I don't know what made me say, okay, let's go. It was Easter. I'm like, why are we leaving on Easter? But we took off and we looked at it, and I thought, oh, this looks pretty interesting. I have good vision on things, I said, let's go ahead and, see what happens. We'll get some information. So we started kind of digging, and he was really excited, like, let's work together. I said, if we do anything, whatever we do, we're going to have to take some business classes. So we registered for the San Antonio Business at UTSA. It's downtown. So they had a bunch of classes, and it's kind of like for entrepreneurs, for different kinds of businesses, like the finance, the accounting, kind of all the things, marketing that you need to hit for having and running your own business. So we started taking the classes. They connected me with a business. I can't think of what his title was, but somebody through UTSA. I guess so, like an advisor, and he helped me put together plans. It was a lot of classes, and I had to do research, and I had to like type up proposals, and this is like in the summer. I was like doing all this stuff and working real hard because I thought, I think this is something we can do. It was close by my parents' house. I thought, it'd be easy, like a family thing to do.
So this business, was it already the talent agency that you were looking into?
Not the talent agency.
It was a different, just like a family business.
Yeah, it was just something I started that process. And then there was one day that the advisor's like, if you're going to do this, you need to get that information from the current business owner, because we gotta apply for a loan. I mean, how are you gonna, we need to do something with that. So I went to the gentleman, and I found him there at the office. I mean, at his at the business, and I said, I really am very interested. I'm really trying hard. I have everything ready to go. I need the information from you. I need like the accounting reports and things that I can pass along to show it's a viable business, that I can do this. And he refused to give me anything. And this was already after like 3 months of me like kind of working to do things, put it together. So I went home, and I was kind of, I think I just felt like,
Discouraged.
Very discouraged, but I was like, I guess this is not the right path. This isn't meant to be. I finally got to that point. Okay, this isn't meant to be. What am I meant to do? And I didn't have a breakdown. It's not that, but I just kind of like, okay, I'm done. I have to put that in the past. I have to find something else. And I sat there on the couch the same day that I saw him. He said, no, I made that decision. The same night, I found Condra Artista for sale. And I was like, what? I was like, that's why this didn't happen, I was like, oh my goodness. So I was so excited. If I hadn't done that journey like 20 plus years ago to reach out to Condra, to do all the little things, I would have seen that name, and I would have passed by it because I wouldn't have known. But because we were in the agency with my kids, we had already kind of phased out of the contract, but we had already gone through that and done all that. When I saw that, I said, oh, I think this is what I can do. This is what I want to do. So I reached out the next day. I spoke with Linda, who was the second owner of Condra Artista. And we scheduled a meeting, and I told her the whole story. I said, look, I've been working. I have a business plan, not for this. But I want to come in. I'm very interested. So I went in, I did shadowing, I met with Mary. I went to the space on East Houston Street. And first, you drive up on East Houston, and I'm like,
what is this?
This is another shady place.
Yes.
I'm like, I keep getting into these shady situations. But I realized, and this is another kind of like serendipity kind of things, things just happen like, wow. When I walked in, I realized this is the same place. Like a year prior, I had reached out to, again, I was doing Google searches. I think I was still sick at that time, the year prior, but I was just trying to do some things and kind of take Andrew, my son, to different places, like so he could meet with different film, just kind of be involved. And there was a group that was coming together with a film. I still remember the title. I helped them with the NDAs. We did a talent outreach to, we had a lot of people coming from Houston, actually, to that location on East Houston. That was not, it wasn't finished. It was still kind of like a condemned spot. But I believe Carrie had already bought it, Carrie Valderrama. And of course, you know, Carrie, he allowed those people to come in. And I'm sure he you know, told them the conditions of it, because it was not in any means an operable place, but it was just a place central that they could meet. So we had talent come in. We had about a good 15, 20 people there to do the auditions. My son and I helped with the auditions. So we did all those pieces. And I can't remember the guy's name. I wish I could, but he was really special, and he had a lot of good energy. And he was the one that was kind of putting it together and helping, because he was from LA, I believe. And about 2 weeks after that, he called me. He's like, I have something that I have to like travel to, and so I'm not going to be able to, you know, help with this production any longer. And that made me so sad. And I wish I could remember his name. I don't remember his name. I had his number and everything, and I can't. But after that, it never came to fruition. But that was my first visit to East Houston Street. So here I am meeting Mary and Linda, and I came back and I was like, I've been here before. And they're like, what do you mean you've been here before? This has only been open like less than a year. Wow. And so I explained to them, well, I came in even before the spaces were even starting to be leased, because we had that kind of like a casting call there. So again, kind of serendipity, here I am looking at this agency. Condra Artista moved into that building probably a month or two after like I had been there, because Linda knew Carrie. Carrie was a part of Condra Artista, you know, back in the day. So it felt right. I walked in and I just felt instantly connected. I felt like this is my home. This is family. I mean, I just felt that like that. You know, there's some places you go, people you see maybe for 2 years and you still have no real connection with them. You know, that you have all different kinds of connections that you either do have or you don't.
You make me teary.
Don't be teary. Same thing when you arrived. I'm like, you're home.
That's what I was telling Ansley this last episode that we were talking about. I was telling her, I was like, from East Houston to now, like the whole group of people and the environment that we're in and stuff like that. What's it called? It's like home, like it's family, you know, like I spend a lot of time with these people, like but like with you, like you know, you're my one-on-one mentor. Oh my gosh, Claudia.
That's okay. I cry too. You don't make me cry.
You're my one-on-one mentor. Like you're the first person that I met coming into this world, you know. I was 18 when I first signed with you. So
you're making me feel old.
But it's true, you know. It's crazy. You know, I was 18 when I first signed with you. So it's just been a journey. I've learned so much. I'm in a different role with different responsibilities. You know, I'm kind of like weaning off of like the agency side. Like I'm just getting a lot of knowledge from different creatives, and it's inspiring. Yeah, I'd say. Because when you first caught my attention, you were like, hey. What else do you want to you want to work for me? You know, like what else do you want to do? Like, do you want to just be an actress? You want to just do movies? So when we had that little coffee meetup or whatever, that's literally where everything changed for me. So I kind of want to like spin back and kind of ask like when everything pretty much changed for you. You know, like when was the role of the talent agent already in your hands and you felt like, wow, like.
Oh, that's a good question. You know, I came in, so I did shadow, and I felt very confident. I wouldn't do anything. I mean, it seems like it was just a whim, but it really wasn't a whim. I had, you know, from my 20s, I have the talent side knowledge, even though I don't consider myself a talent. I like support.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like the support team, and that's my role, and that's where I like to be. Yeah. I don't mind being on camera in groups. I'm like, woohoo, I like to do that. I love being extras. I love all that, but I don't like to be center stage. So that's why I really admire actors willing, you put yourself out there. And it's a tough business, and you have to have tough skin to be an actor. And I love it, and I like supporting it. Kind of like you said, it's a growth and it's a journey, and I think that's where I really enjoy seeing people come in, like yourself, and some people, everyone's at different levels of their journey as an actor, right? And even different levels of their life, because some people come in at your age, others come in or come back, later in life that they did this and they want to come back. Or even for our little kids that start out and, kind of have, I guess it's a different experience with your parents, and then you come back, as a young adult, and it's kind of like now you're relearning because your parents kind of did it for you. So we have a few talent like that, that we're out or we're in Condra. I have one girl that was in Condra when she was young, and she's now in her 20s, but it's a different perspective now that you're handling it yourself and not, you didn't know maybe the business side of it. So I think there's a lot of growth to have, even a seasoned actor to come into the agency. And it's really important to understand all the aspects, not just, I'm just an actor.
Right.
You need to know the business side of it. I mean, you should know what your agent is doing to try and help you. You should know why your agent tells you a certain thing. It's to help and guide you. It's not, there's no nitpicking. There's nothing like that. It's win-win. We want you to win and we win as, you kind of come up. We come up too. Right. So, I think that's all a part of it. But I mean, just going back to, again, the journey for myself, it was home. I mean, I felt like I'd known Carrie forever. And I do miss him greatly. I love Carrie. But he really brought me in, and he had me stay like under his wing, but we were kind of there, for each other. But it was all the businesses at the time that were at Alamo City Studios. I mean, I felt like that with everybody. Everybody that was there, and we had people come and go, and you just feel that connection and with everybody that's in there. So let me wrap up the story. I'm talking too much now. I think that I'm not a talker, but I do. You can't stop me. So it ended up, I did the shadowing. I met many times with Linda and Mary. We discussed a lot of things. Because it's not just the actors, it's the contracts. It's the negotiating part. It's, you have to really be present and be on it for anybody that reaches out. We need talent. Okay, what do you need? How can we help you? Here's who we have. We need to have releases. We need to make sure the rates are appropriate for the talent that you're asking for, and that I mean, our talent love to work, but also we want to make sure that they're taken care of as well. So it's just kind of a fine balance on that. So anyway, I did all that with them. And in the meantime, while I'm doing that, I was getting the business proposal ready to get the loan. So it was kind of, everything was in tandem. I was working with the guy from the business school, the UTSA guy. I wish I remembered his name, but sorry.
If you're watching this right now.
Yeah, if you're watching, I'm sure he's not. So we got everything ready. I applied for the loan, and that was very scary because after all this, I thought, if I don't get the loan, because Linda was already calling me, okay, is this, is this going to happen? Because she needed to sell her business as well. She was ready to sell it. So I felt like a lot of weight was on my shoulders because I wanted it. I wanted that. I needed the loan. I didn't want to let Linda down, and I was ready to go. I'm like, I'm ready. And so I called the loan officer, and I was kind of waiting for him, like, yay, nay, what's happening? And he said, well, I can't remember exactly what he said. He's like, if you want to come in, you're welcome to come in, and we can discuss it further, but we're going to go through the final and we'll let you know. And I do think that was very key for me. That was like a pivotal moment, because I could have said, and I almost did, or I might have said, okay, well, I'll just wait to hear what you, but then I changed my mind real quick. I was like, you know what, let me come in and let me meet you at least, so we have a face-to-face. So I was very nervous. Again, on downtown, I drove down there, and I think I probably have been sweating. I was like, oh my God, I was saying my prayers. Like if it's meant to be, I need to get this loan. So I walked in there, I met with him, and he wasn't a warm, fuzzy guy. He was very business. I don't want to say cold, but I'm sure he was a busy day, and he's like, oh, this girl wants a loan, So we met. I went through the whole thing. I gave him, like, well, what's your background? Why do you think you can do this? And I kind of ran through. I said, I haven't ran an agency before, but, I do understand. I've taken these classes. I do understand business. I do understand the talent side. I do understand the parent side. I have no problem calling people. I have no problem, talking in a different, drumming up business. I have no problem doing any of that. I just really need the loan to be able to move forward with this. So he's like, okay, well, we're going to review it and everything. So I left thinking, oh, I don't, hopefully I get it. So when I talked to him, he's like, well, you're going to get the loan, but I have to tell you, if you didn't come in, I probably would not have given the loan, because on paper, it kind of, I'm giving you a loan because essentially the business is the talent, and it is the name. So a part of that, which I wasn't going to change anyway, he's like, you can't change the name because it's an established name. I said, no problem. I wasn't going to do that. I think it's important to keep that. What's what I'm looking for? Congruity. Oh. Yeah. Well, that. So I probably said that term wrong, but I said, that's not a problem. He said, but again, your business is your talent and people. It's a people business. I said, yes, I understand that. And he kind of said something along the lines, if this doesn't work, if you can't pay this loan back, I'm going to come after you, or something like that. I mean, it's my name is on the line, giving you this loan. Stress. I mean, talk about stress. I'm like, don't worry, we're going to be, I promise, I'll pay it back. And yeah, I mean, ever since we've been running, and it's been wonderful. So, and it's almost 9 years ago. I know. So that was a really long story to get to what you asked me.
That's fine.
But that's kind of where it was. And it's the most fun I've had, because, I've had my previous job, like I went to UT, I graduated with my degree. I went to UT Health Science Center. I got my degree, and that was wonderful. And I'm glad I did that, for sure. And I really enjoyed that part of it, of my life. And I just felt I needed like that stability. I had, I was poor. I didn't have any money. I had to pay bills. But it was still a good foundation, helping people in different ways. And so with this, it's been the most fun, but I can help people still. My goal and my idea with this business is to help people still, in whatever they're trying to do.
The degree that you received, it wasn't in any arts or anything?
It wasn't, no. That was just, I got a kinesiology degree and then a degree in physical therapy. So those are my degrees. But everybody wears different hats. And I think as we get older and as our journey, I mean, it kind of, we're able to navigate, and you have life experiences. And yeah, I mean, coming into this, it wasn't anything per se that aside from, being with the other agency and then work shadowing with this agency. But it really comes down to good people skills and, understanding the agency, being able to talk to the casting directors and knowing what casting directors want, and being able to, translate that over into what do the talent need, so that they can just continue to grow. And again, just making the connections. Okay, you need to get that training, Condra Artista in the past, like I still communicate with Priscilla on occasion. So she loves to see on our Instagram page, like all the talent. She has some talent that she knew when she was still here. Some of, I guess, our OG talent, that that are still around and still book on occasion. But similar. She came into this because it was a passion for her. Her daughter was, I guess, about 9 or 10 at the time. And again, you have to have the passion for it. And she did, and she made it. I really admire her for everything she did, because she put into place everything that we're still utilizing today.
Well, since we're on the subject of talent, how is the recruitment of talent? How does that work? Is there a checklist that you go based off of? Do you like diversity? Like, are you like Linda? Are you like, do you speak Spanish? No, I can't help you.
I know.
How is it?
We need more Spanish speakers. So I remember when I talked to Linda, she, in kind of going about learning about the business, every day there are people that are coming to you, to the agency, like, I want to be represented. So we do try and do outreaches. We try, and we did in February. Going to Austin, I think, was very nice that we were able to go that and do. It wasn't an open call, but we did put out a reach, I believe, a search, and then we were able to schedule the appointments. And I do plan to continue doing that, and maybe we can check your schedule and see if we can do some more in the future. But really, on a daily basis, people contact us through the website. And so it's kind of going through that. I try my best as I can to reach back to everybody. It's either, I'm sorry, but, it probably, I don't say that, use this term, but it would be helpful if you can get some training, make sure you have a headshot before you come to an agency. So you kind of give them the list, the rundown of that. Then there's some people that will send a headshot and a resume. And, I think, okay, well, can you send me a slate? Let's see what your slate looks like. Because if they haven't been represented by an agency in the past few years, some people might still not be privy to doing video slates. So I want to make sure, or I like to see what they can do with that. And then at that point, if I feel like, okay, they have a good slate, like they understand backdrop, lighting, they can send that in. I do try and schedule in person if we can, or I still do Zooms if they're not here close by that they can run in.
Are you strictly taking only experienced actors, or are you taking beginners as well?
I'm open to just see who sends in what. Okay. Because if someone's been training and they just haven't had somebody reach back out to them, or it just depends on also what we need, and if I see potential, because there's always somebody that can come in and maybe they don't have all the ducks in the row, but they are willing to jump and do it.
Yeah.
You can kind of navigate that and see, okay, can you go get your headshot? And yeah, I'm on it. I scheduled it. Can you, so if we can get certain things, even if the experience isn't, like SAG actor level, casting, a lot of times they need new faces, or we're looking for someone unique, or, just depending on things like that. So it could be like a certain look. It could come down to that on some, but there still needs to be that basic level. So we need the basic level of headshot, of being able to do a slate. Because if you can't do a slate, there's no one's going to see you. And just having, again, something on your resume, being on set, understanding what a set is, understanding what is expected of you. So there's a lot of little pieces. But I do try and at least see what pieces are there, and can we help you, or we can't at this time. And, there are other things, avenues that you can go. You can maybe just get as extra on set. I mean, there's always things that are thrown out there for extras. Do something local. Go to the high schools. Like, they're always needing talent. They usually shoot on the weekends.
Yeah.
So if you're able to do that, and if you come away thinking, I love sitting around for 10 hours, and that's fine, because sometimes it's a lot of that sit and wait. And if you can't do that, this is not for you.
Yeah.
So, people at least have to have that experience, because you can't expect to be like, I'm ready to go. And then, oh, I didn't know this was, they need to know what that is, and what all the aspects of being an actor are, because there is a lot of that. Yeah, I had this one guy that was already in the agency when I came on, and I don't really know kind of where he was or what that story was, but he showed up to be an extra here in town, and he said he was waiting around, so he just left. And the casting director called me and told me about this, like not at that day, but after the fact. And I was like, oh, I wish he would have told me. And so we just called him like, that's not professional.
Yeah.
And, you know, at this time we can't continue to represent, unfortunately, because, and that looks badly on us. So we need to
Right.
make sure everybody understands what it is. But there's a lot of facets to being an actor. It depends also on what kind of gig it is. You know, are you commercial? If it's film, totally different thing. If it's an industrial, if it's, you know, sometimes they just need like not all our actors like to do this, but it is something, you know, where it's like a convention and they just need friendly faces or some models to do different gigs locally. So there's just a lot of pieces to it. We also have musicians, but a lot of our musicians, we don't find musical gigs or venues. It's more if they need someone to, you know, a real musician for some commercial shoot or something like that.
Voiceover actors as well?
And voiceover actors. Voiceover actors kind of has waxed and waned. So we do have really exceptional voiceover actors, but sometimes the jobs just don't come in on the casting sites. And I know it's frustrating for the talent, but we can't create the jobs, but we're just constantly looking for with the voiceover acting jobs that come through, you know, who can do what. So anything that comes through, we'll submit our talent, but they don't come in as frequently. And I've heard from casting directors specifically that AI is kind of taking that piece away.
So well, I don't want to go towards AI, but I do want to go towards influencers and content creators. How has that kind of evolved and like the social media take on it? How has that kind of took off on the agency side?
You know, that is actually an ongoing thing. And that's, I don't want to say it's new because I know it's been going on a while, but I've been recently, and I spoke to a casting director recently who they are trying to go more towards, okay, the talent agency. And he was telling me specifically, so I don't know what he told other people, but he called me and he said, because it's so crazy, we're narrowing down a pool of talent. So when we're sending our talent auditions in, they're pulling people that they really want to hold on to for things like that. So there was, I can't remember the brand, but they wanted to have a pool of like 5 talent that they wanted to just reach out to, like see if this one worked. You know, so it's kind of like influencer where they can reach out really quickly and not have to do a broad, hey, we need this. And that was kind of in that realm where it's like.
So has those jobs kind of taken a little leap?
I saw a big push for a bit. I haven't seen it recently, but I'm not sure if they're just kind of navigating. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And so that goes back to your quality of your auditions. You never know what the casting director is going to see to say, oh, you know, maybe not this one, but I really like that person and I think they do well in this. So that just goes back down to being professional, you know, sending the best quality audition that you can, knowing what casting needs, and that stems from getting your training in, what on-camera workshops, your improv, anything that you can do like that to boost your level of professionalism and just so they can see you and you want to wow them, even from your slate. Slate is very important, as I'm sure, you know, because if you don't even catch them at your slate, I mean, we don't know what they're doing with the videos, but they have so many videos that they have to run through them quickly.
Right.
So you really have to capture them, you know, from the get-go. So Slate will tell them a lot about your personality. So you want to make sure and, you know, show them your person. Who are you when you're saying your name? You know, you don't want to say it flat. You don't want to be like, you know, you just want, who are you? So that way they're, oh, I like her. I like him. Yeah, let's see what he can do.
On the agency side with casting directors, the communication between that, how do you navigate when a talent, let's say, has an on-set question, you know, and they're on set, they don't know who to talk to, you know, they're getting PAs coming from every
That's so
which way,
crazy.
and, you know, it's their first set or maybe their second, they're still kind of a little intimidated about the set life. How do you kind of navigate through that?
I mean, I just tell them I'm always available for a call. So I want you to call me if you're feeling like, I don't know what's going on. It is really crazy on set, as you know. There's so many different people. And sometimes, you know, the person that we're talking to, our casting director, is not there.
Right.
So the casting director is the one who will send us the information. So this is what, for the agency says, oh, this is what we're working with. These are the terms that we're working with. This is the rate that we're working with. This is what the talent's supposed to do. And it should run that way. But, you know, sometimes I'm sure there's some miscommunication, or by the time you go, okay, casting has sent it over to the production team, and then they have so many hands in the pot, and someone just running around giving releases, here, sign this, you know, that kind of thing. That's where I get stressed, because it has happened where, you know, they're given the wrong release. And then, oh, no, don't sign that. You know, we need to go back and oh, sorry, we gave you the wrong, or we thought you were this and we gave you the wrong one. It can be stressful. Those are my stressful days, because, you know, I just want to make sure that everybody is good, that we have the information correctly, because then it falls on us. And I want the talent to get paid as they're supposed to. Like, you go in thinking I'm going to get paid. You go in thinking I'm going to do this job. And then if it switches, and that you're going to have fun, because sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes, on occasion, not always, I usually hear back from people, and I check in. Where, oh, that was so much fun. You know, that was great. You know, I can't wait till my next one. That's usually like 99%. On 1%, sometimes like, oh my gosh, I had someone that it was extra, and it was kind of a last minute pull, and they were willing to do it, but it was such a hot day, and it just was not, it didn't pan well, you know, and that was stressful for me, because I'm like, I don't want anybody to get sick, you know. Then I had another guy that was, I think, miscommunication, similar. It was a really hot day, and everybody was sitting in their cars waiting like for hours. But I didn't hear from him until like after 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, it's just that those are stressful times.
Let me piggyback off of that subject. How closely related are you, like, in the involvement of your talent?
You mean like personally?
Well, I mean,
or when they're on set?
Because I kind of, like, I've heard, I mean, I just went to an acting workshop in Austin, and I was hearing from different actors of their agencies and how they're just businesslike. You know, they don't have that personal connection to where, I mean, I can say my agency is kind of like a family to me. I can say it's family style, you know, rather than businesslike, strictly, you know, suit and tie. So how would you kind of say that you are with your talent?
I try and be available. I mean, to me, our talent are here because I feel like we have a good connection. I'm excited for them. I want to see them book and win in their realm of like what they want to get out of this. I feel like they're family. If you're a part of Condra, like, you're part of the now, we don't talk on the phone every day, or, you know, we don't have brunch, or, you know, that would be nice. And we do need to have like a summer get together here soon for Condra Artista. But I don't know. I want them to feel like they can reach out to me, you know, if they, and yes, a lot of times we're busy and I can't take the phone call right away, or it comes down to a text, because a text, messages, because sometimes I'm doing other things and I can't respond, because phone calls, you know, they're a little more chatty, and sometimes I can't do that. But I do want to answer your question right away if I need to, because I don't want anybody to be like worried about an audition or stressed I'm on set and I can't get any answers, things like that. So I just I want people to feel comfortable with and what we're doing, and, you know, how they're being paid, and it's the whole gamut. I mean, it's a business, but I want them to feel like they're valued too. I mean, it's not a business just for me. It's a business for all of us, because, you know, if you're successful, that goes to somebody else. Casting likes Condra. They know that Condra is a professional agency, that they can rely on their talent. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to, the relationships that we're developing on all aspects of it. It's not just the talent in myself. It's the casting, it's production. I've heard from production teams reach out like, oh, they did wonderful, and they were so professional. And
I've even heard on set like, oh, I love Claudia. Like, you're with Condra. Oh, is it the blah blah blah? Like, is it Linda or is it Priscilla? There's some people that know Condra already. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off of that. I mean, like I was saying in my last episode with Ansley, we talked about how I first started as an actress, got represented by you, and then just gradually started establishing a connection. And then once we got to talking, then that business conversation kind of came up to where, do you want to work for me? And so I want to kind of go back to how is your business thriving here in ACS now, since the new medical center, the new medical center location, yes, the new North location opened. We're not over there warehouse on East Houston anymore.
Well, I'll say I have a love still for our East Houston location. And when Carrie moved over here with Jeremy, that was around, I guess, COVID. We were maybe getting out of COVID. I don't even remember anymore. Things kind of
I think it was like together. 21.
Something like that. Yeah. And, coming from COVID, of course, we were all working from home. And we were still trying to work. I mean, everybody was kind of like, oh, what are we doing? So when Carrie moved over here, I mean, honestly, I was like, well, do I move over there or do I just work remote? But I want a business location. So then we came here, and I think it's just been wonderful. So I think it's important, and it's a good presence to say, we're here at Alamo City Studios, and I do enjoy them coming in, and then they can see, wow, like I didn't know, this was here. I didn't know, there's like the cyclorama, and they really enjoy seeing the space. So I think everybody walks away with a little bit better understanding of what we're doing and what Alamo City Studios is doing, and maybe what we can do, in the future. But I think I lost my train of thought with your question.
In like the education room, when we host acting classes in there, I do feel like you're one of the missing pieces to the puzzle, like I feel like if there wasn't a talent agency in ACS, it would kind of be odd, like I really do feel like it fits.
Yeah. Well, and I think as the years have progressed, I mean, we've been doing really great. So every year since I came on board, we were running with kind of off what Priscilla and Linda had accomplished already. And then we were, moving forward and continuing to grow. And then COVID kind of, we came, everybody was like down here. We were waiting to see what happened. And then it picked up again. So I think it's just been steadily growing. And I do think, I think we're good. We try to be good. And I try to maybe make connections as we can and try and go to different events. The classes that are here, I think it's nice. I'd like to have more, and I think that's something that we can look at in the future. It's just been kind of a off year a little bit, so just navigating everything that's happening. But I do think that's very important. And any classes that also are offered, we try and share. So it's not just us. I mean, this is, if you can take a class somewhere else, that just helps open, expand your horizons and meet new people. So we do try and share classes of our local industry, like I think it's Actors Studio. Is that I'm saying it wrong? Actors Studio. I'm blanking right now.
Oh, the Austin.
Well, we have
Austin
that,
group?
but we also have
Okay.
places here in San Antonio that offer classes.
Oh, okay.
And Michael Druck casting. So anybody who's offering classes, we try and share. So that way, people just have access to those classes. So it's not necessarily through Condra Artista. We have done that in the past, but it's more just sharing. We're so busy, so it's kind of hard to. I want to focus on getting the auditions for the actors, but it's important on the talent, and that's the talent's responsibility to find the classes, to make sure that they're getting the training, because just because you haven't gotten anything in 2 to 3 months doesn't mean that next audition isn't going to be like maybe a really good opportunity for you. And if you're not consistently like working as far as doing auditions or just training and how to perfect your lighting, how to perfect everything that you need to perfect, and maybe pulling something out with an improv class or something that you know that you need, that way you're ready. So even if it's 2 or 3 months, that could be the one that you land that's like, wow, that was so worth it. So and you have to kind of have that grit about you as an actor. You can't say, oh, well, I'm not getting anything, I'm just not going to do anything. You have to constantly be working at it, because it's just kind of I guess it's like riding a bike. You're not going to forget what you're supposed to do, but at the same time, you can kind of get yourself from a basic level to a professional, elite, Olympic level. Let's all be that.
So there are some like myths or some sayings that actors talk about and whatnot, and I want to run one by you to kind of see if it's a myth or not. Is it true that actors need to move to a bigger city or a popular city in order to get work?
I don't think so now, with everything being like video submissions. I think maybe back in the day, because we do have a lot of talent that maybe are working here and they're working with the agency, and then they're like, I'm going to move, I'm going to go to California, I'm going to go here, wherever they go, Atlanta. But now, if you're good and if you put in a great audition, wherever you are, they're going to want you. So not if you're good. You just have to present yourself, and if it's for you, you'll get that. So you can do that from wherever. So we have some actors in LA and New York that put in their audition there to book here. So it's vice versa. So if some people want to and they have the means to do that, I wouldn't say don't go for it. If you really want to, that's your passion, and you're like, I just want to be in it, and I want to be in a certain area because that's where my dream has always been. I support anything like that, but I don't think you have to be. If you're getting auditions and you're knocking them out, that's where you should be able to start booking. And then if you're like booking some awesome things in like in Los Angeles, or then you move. They're like, oh, they need me over there, I got to move now, or wherever that is. But there's a lot of people booking here, so.
Thank you for clearing that up. One more thing, and then we can wrap up.
Okay.
A actor in San Antonio that, let's say, has done some theater, maybe one on-set opportunity as an extra or something on a film or whatever. How do they get in contact with you? How do they pursue Condra?
Well, anybody interested, and again, make sure that you do have the things that you need, that you're prepared for any agency that you go to, is they can go to our website, and that's www.condraartista.com. They can put in, they should be able to put in a headshot and a resume. Sometimes there's glitches, I'm sorry about that. And from that, we do get that information. That's where we're able to review everything and get back to them. And then also they can just, I'll have a lot of people reach out to me on our Instagram, and the Condra, is it?
Condra _
Artista. I thought I'd say that incorrectly. But I have a lot of people reach out there and just, I'm interested in this. How do I go about it? But I always kind of gear them back to either the website, or they could just email us, office@condraartista.com. And so I get a lot of inquiries there. And that's a job in itself, to go through all those inquiries.
Oh, I know. I know.
It's a lot of work. And
Yes.
honestly, I don't know if people understand. It's not 9 to 5. It's morning
It's
till
24/7
till like late at night. Because
Yes.
things will pop in maybe at 6 or like I've already checked during the day. Okay, we're good. And then if I go back and check at 8, there's like several more that have come through. I'm like, oh no, I have to put them in.
Mhm.
Or people will send auditions at any hour, and that's fine. And I'm trying to respond and make sure the auditions are, if they need to redo it again. But again, that comes down to your training. So if you're training, the goal is to really hit it, like the first time around. So that way you're not, I don't want our talent spinning our wheels and getting frustrated. So, but that's the journey also, I think.
Thank you, Miss Boss Lady.
You're welcome.
I call Claudia Boss Lady because she was my first ever actual boss woman that I have ever been around, kind of shadowed, and she really took me under her wing and just kind of mentored me and showed me that I can have somebody I can trust, within this crazy industry.
Oh, thank you.
But thank you so much for
You're
talking to
welcome.
me and being one of the first
I
to
know,
experience this space.
I love it. Thank you.
Alrighty, you guys. We will see you in another episode. Make sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on all platforms at Alamo City Studios. We will see you on your For You page later on. Bye.